Let's mute everything else, and we've got the vocals, and let's start playing. And what I'm going to try to do first is just correct the tonal balance of the vocal. Again, because of its recording, there's not much I have to do. Of course, if this is your own recording, then you might have to do a little bit more work.
And you can't wear it when your soul just scrapes the ground with the sleeves too long and the style plain wrong. When the neck is tied and bound, then there's a hole.
Normally what I'm trying to achieve with the compression here for vocals is that whenever the vocalist is singing, the compression green LED is sort of constantly on, and that's sort of leveling everything up. And that's what I'm looking for. And then I can start EQing.
You look out, you're almost strangled blue, drawn like a raggedy heart on a bad tattoo. Wake up and drop that.
Okay, I'm just gonna remove that some
down and face your naked
nasal
truth. It's been so wrong, so long, that it's time to make an escape.
Now, because I removed some of that frequency over there, of course, that lost some of the lower frequency, the bass, and I'm increasing at 80 hertz. Of course, it's not just affecting 80 hertz. It's also going to affect the frequencies above. If you haven't watched my video on, actually I have two videos, one on the compression analysis and the EQ analysis. I will leave a link up there somewhere. You can click and watch how these EQs and the compression works, because knowing that, it will give you a better understanding of how to adjust the compression and the EQ. So that's why even though you may think that there's not much information at 80 hertz for vocal, but that is bringing out some of the warmth that I want, because I removed some of the frequencies from there. Okay, let's keep listening.
If the grin won't fit and you can't bear it, when the heartache's lost, not found, with the days too long.
While we're at it, why don't we select the effects now? So I'm happy with that vocal. So just bring it down a little bit. And usually for this genre of music, I like plate on the vocals. It's nice and simple. It does not overpower the vocal. It's in the background and just gives some atmosphere to it. So it gives the space that the vocalist needs to be with the rest of the instrumentation. Because if you hear the drums, especially the drums, there's a little bit of platiness reverb in the room that's been recorded. So using the plate, I think, great example. Of course, I'm just going to press the select, and I do have the number 5 plate selected, and the time is 4 seconds or thereabouts. I think that's what it means by 4. That's the one I like, so it's all good. And I might do a video on some of the built-in effects, how you can change it to your liking as well. They do have some customization that you can use, so it's not just select an effect and it goes. In the plate, you can select the decay time. In this case, I'm just using 4. So, and we're just going to increase the amount and see how it sounds. And personally, again, everything is personal, my personal opinion, I like my fader to be about just under 0 for the return of the effects. And then I start adding using my effects send. So that way I know what the maximum level coming out would be. Of course, you're going to make sure that you've got the main switch pressed down. Make sure it's not muted as well, so that the output of the effect is going and mixing with the main. because you do have the option of that going to the sub as well as the after fader listen option. So I'm going to have those off. You're just going to the main and we're ready to go. And this is the signal that's coming into the effect. So you got to make sure that you've got that turned up as well, but not too high. There is a zero sort of level, unity level there. That's where I like to put it. So that's the input, that's the output of the effects module. And these are the levels we are sending into the input. Here we go. Let's exit there.
It's all wrong when the throat can't make a sound. Then there's a hold on you. Look out, your spirit's breaking through, caught in some Gordian knot that was made just for you.
Yes, that sounds really great. So it's just filling up the space and making the vocal sound, and really good to listen to without disrupting it. And it's all there. And while I'm at it, I should mention auxiliary 2, because it's going to the effects, is always post fader. That means the signal going into here is after the fader. So if you turn down your fader, you are turning also down the signal that it's going into your effects box. Not so for the auxiliary 1 in its default mode. Auxiliary 1, if you have anything connected at the output, as you turn the auxiliary 1, regardless of where the fader level is, the signal will be as you set, because auxiliary 1 by default is pre-fader. So the signal will still go, even if the fader is down, it'll go out. And it could be of course different level. Now that's really great if you have stage monitors for the musicians to listen themselves as they are playing, so you can adjust everybody's level independent of what the audience are listening through the faders. And there is an option in the menu that you can set that into post fader as well. So if you are using auxiliary 1 as an effect send and not the stage monitor send, then you need to set it into post fader so that the amount of signal going into your effects and outboard effects board is relevant to the fader position. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, that's another video that I can make. If you'd like me to make, comment below and I'll do a video and demonstrating that option as well. So now that we've got that vocal all nice and set, let's bring the guitars and give some effects to the guitars. And we're going to use, of course, the same effect. So that means the guitars will be in the same room as the vocalist. Here we go.
Sleeves too long and the style plain wrong when the neck is
Let's bring the bass.
and bound. Then there's a hold on you.
The drums.
Look out, you're almost strangled blue, drawn like a raggedy heart on a bad tattoo. Wake up and drop that suit, strip down and face your naked truth.
That sounds great. If it doesn't, let me know in the comment section below. Of course, you can spend a lot more time, working out the balance of it, but that's pretty much what the mixing is. And now we have some mixing. Next step is to mix it down into the main as master left and right channel. So let's do that. Okay, let's do a final mix down, because I thought we might balance the guitars, because at the moment they're center. So let's give it some stereo feel.
If the shoe don't fit and you can't wear it, when your soul just scrapes the ground with the sleeves too long and the style playing wrong, when the neck is tight and bound, then there's a hold on you. Look out.
Okay, that sounds good enough for me. And the way we can record our mix is record it onto the main. And this is a feature that available on the TASCAM Model 12, is that you can press record without arming any of the channels. That means it's going to record on the left and right, which are channel 11 and 12. Now, when you arm for recording and you are recording your band, you arm the tracks to record, your channel 11 and 12, which is your main bus, is always recording. So what we're trying to do is to not record any of the tracks other than the 11 and 12, which is our main bus. And to do that, we just press the record button.